Cellar Dive episode number 24 of...
Brutal Battle.
So, we are doing a Cellar Dive episode now because I actually still can't drink alcohol. I need to wean off of the medication that I've been on. So, it's going to be another 2 weeks. But, we are doing 2 alcoholic beverages for this one, especially because with this being a Cellar Dive, the past history of our Cellar Dive episodes, a lot of those beers have ended up being ones that we don't end up drinking because they don't hold up that great. So these are both beers that I pulled out that I wouldn't be that sad if I miss out on them necessarily, but could be interesting tastes for the podcast.
Yeah.
So I am going to just be able to do like I've been doing with, regular beers and take like 1 or 2 very, very small sips just to get a little bit of flavor so we can evaluate them. So there's still that intact. The only difference is really going to be I'm not going to drink them after that. Although Rebecca will be able to get larger sips, so maybe she'll have a little more insight to give with how things develop taste-wise. So, yeah. So that said, let's go ahead and just get into the Cellar Dive episode. And then, just so people know, once we have this episode, and then we're probably going to do another Cellar Dive episode to round out my time where I can't really drink. Then after that, we're going to go into some beer mail from Kyle Norman. And that will be a few episodes because he did send us a decent amount of beer.
Yeah.
So look forward to that. All right, so let's get into our first beer. And I honestly don't know how old this is because it's not date coded. But this, I'm going to say I've had this for at least 8 years.
And you don't even remember where you got it.
I don't even remember where I got it from. I think I bought it kind of locally, but I haven't seen this brewery distributed in Maryland in quite some time. And the brewery is Moylan's Brewing, and Moylan's is out of Novato, California. And this is their Kilt Lifter Scotch-style ale. So one of the reasons I wanted to put this one on is because how often do we have Scotch-style ales on the podcast? Like, barely ever. This is in a 22-ounce bottle, which is a format that's pretty much dead at this point.
You just don't see it anymore. It used to be common.
Well, when I got this, yes, it was like bombers all over the place, like so many beers and bombers. But we've gone away from that. But this beer is 8% alcohol, so let's see how this sucker goes. Still has carbonation going on. There's that for it. All right, I'm going to do a normal pour for Rebecca. And then the tiniest little baby pour.
You should do a normal pour for yourself, though, because you might be able to get more.
Oh, just a smell? Okay, that's not a bad idea.
You don't have to drink it.
I didn't do the exact pour I did for you, but,
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
So, what is it looking like? As you would assume from a Scotch ale, like brownish, reddish.
Yeah.
More on the brown side than like slight reddish, orangish hue to it, but not a whole lot of carbonation sitting around on top. Some larger to medium-sized bubbles just kind of chilling around the edges.
It smells vegetal.
Like what type of veggie? I see what you're saying. I'm getting a lot of like grain, like base grain bill type smell. I'm trying.
Yeah.
And there's a little like orange peely note.
There is a sweetness to it.
Yeah. There's like a sweet orange peel. There's a slight raisin sweetness on it.
Like dried fruit.
Yeah, definitely dried fruit. And there's that weird, like, with some of these aged, like, very aged, higher ABV beers or, like, darker beers, over time they get this kind of, like, inherent woody smell, even if they're not aged in wood, so I'm getting that. But they also get this kind of, like, weird, like, mintiness in the nose, which I feel like I'm getting.
It doesn't smell good.
It does not smell great, gonna be honest.
Yeah, it's not a...
I actually am getting, like, a smell like prunes on there.
It doesn't make me want to, like... I'm not excited to drink it or anything.
You're not psyched about this one. I mean, I'm not either, but then at the same time...
This style isn't one I, like, gravitate towards either.
Yeah. You're going to feel worse about this being dumped if we don't like it, because you could drink this beer. I'm not, because I just can't. I'm just not allowed.
I'll tell you what. I took a first sip. It's not bad. It tastes way better than it smells.
Yes,
I don't need to drink more of it though.
So I'm taking like much smaller sips, so I'm going to rely more on you for this. But like I get a lot of that woodiness. It's very like grain bill driven at this point, which Scotch ales typically are. But I'm usually I usually get like a cherry or like some like brown sugar notes out of it, and I'm not getting that.
I'm getting like some caramel.
Mm-hmm.
It's very light.
Okay. Yeah, like a little carameliness. Do you see what I'm saying that I was getting on the nose? That little, like, minty note?
I'm not getting
It's
that.
like a menthol type quality. It's very weird. Very woody, very grain bill wise. Prunes. I definitely taste like there's, like, prunes in there.
It's just like dried fruit.
Dried fruit, yeah. Like a medley of dried fruit. So it's got just a decent amount of sweetness. The other thing is, the mouthfeel is very kind of watery.
Yes, it's very thin.
And the flavors do fall off your palate pretty quick.
Yeah.
So
it's like not a lot going on.
I'm going to guess this was way better at the time that it was purchased, and that just over time it just does not do that well, especially because of the fact that
Are there tasting notes on it?
it has like awards on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, it won some awards at like the California State Fair. It won a Australian International Beer Award in 2012. It won World Beer Championship in 2009. Got a gold in 2009 and a gold in 1990, 1997, 1998, and 2003.
So this is they've been brewing this a while.
Yeah, and then it got silvers in 89, 85, and 88. Or no, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. No. In 2000, 2006, and 2012, it got the silvers. And then Best of the West, gold in 97 and 05, and silver in 2000 and 2001. I'll read what it says. Robust and strapping, our Scotch ale takes big ales to a whole new level. Rich malt balances perfectly with delicate hops to provide a concentrated and intense flavor. An ideal companion for hearty foods or as a meal unto itself. Allow this ale to warm slightly in your glass to enhance its truly bold character. Sharing is encouraged as this is one ale that lives up to its name. No peaking, stint. But, yeah, the hops over time would have just totally fallen out. So any balance that was in there with the hops, it's going to be gone. Yeah. And that, honestly, that's even if you're just aging it for like a year. Like that hop character is just going to be out. Maybe even less than a year, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I'm not drinking more because that's not what I can do right now. But
I'm not drinking more because
choices.
Right.
You have to make choices in life.
Not my favorite.
Okay, so beverage. This one probably a lot more promising. The second one.
There's more potential in this
Way
one.
more potential for the second one.
Okay, so this is by Brooklyn Brewery.
12-ounce bottle.
12-ounce bottle. It's 10%. It's their black chocolate stout.
Which I've heard a lot of people enjoy. I think I have had it before. Long time ago.
Limited bottling, winter 14-15.
Oh, 2014 into 15? Yeah, it must be.
Means. And Brooklyn Brewery is at Utica, New York.
So if it was in 14, 15, so say like December, January in there.
Yeah. So
where does that put us? That's 9 years about? Yeah, it's like, 8 years at this point. 8 years. 8 years and some.
Yeah.
8 plus. So, yeah, 8+ years in the bottle. 10%. All right, let's see. Pop this sucker.
Take a real small sip of this.
Yeah, because it's much higher. Yeah.
It's dark.
That'll be for me. I'll pour you more. Well, you probably don't want a lot of 10%. Almost no carbonation, really, at play here.
It just comes right out.
Yeah, it's just... Which, with higher ABVs, you're going to get less carbonation showing up anyway.
A couple bubbles on top, but not much.
A little bit. It's just super dark.
Yeah, no head.
Just very, very dark.
Very dark.
It's got some similar notes to the Kilt Lifter.
It's like that same... It's just that weird old beer smell.
Yeah, like that woody character, even though it wasn't aged in wood, like very malt grain driven. Yep. There are dark chocolate notes, though.
I was just going to say that. You gotta really hunt for them, though.
There's dark chocolate notes. There's an ashy note on the nose as well. I feel like I get some tobacco and some leather showing up in there as well. So there's a lot more going on in the nose than there was for the Kilt
I mean,
Lifter.
it smells better than the other one.
Yeah, I agree with you. Definitely. But, okay. Now I'm going to
Did you say soy sauce?
No, but I was thinking it. I just don't think I said it. But yes, correct. Yeah, I agree.
A little soy sauce. Ugh.
Not great. Very astringent. It's very alcohol forward, and it's very bitter.
It's so bitter.
Yeah. It's like the worst. It's like all the worst portions of dark chocolate, because I do get a little bit of a dark chocolate flavor in there, but it's primarily like, oh, I get this very quick, small hint of dark chocolate, and then it immediately hits you with all that like concentrated dark chocolate bitterness. Like if you go like high percentage dark chocolate, like it's super bitter. So that's what I'm getting from this.
It's not good.
Yeah,
I like the Moylans better.
Yeah, I agree. Because it's easier. It's a lot easier. It's not.
Yeah, you can kind of forget about it. This one is like in your face. It is a little offensive.
It's offensive. It's definitely offensive. So 8+ years on this black chocolate stout from Brooklyn. Not a great idea, people. That's one of the big things that these cellar dives end up being for, is the overwhelming majority of the time it's a public service announcement. Don't age your beers much.
Yeah.
Or honestly, just don't age them, period. Because I think we really are getting out of that phase. Actually, I think we've already been out of it for a while now, where breweries are wanting you to go ahead and age stuff. Yeah. There are some things that age pretty well that we've found in the past, like 120-minute, worldwide stout, stuff like that.
But not that long. Like, we've had worldwide stouts that haven't been good because they've passed their prime.
Accurate, yes.
So it's just like that sweet spot of aging.
Right. And if I remember correctly, when we did have an aged 120-minute on the podcast before, that it was good at I think it was 4.5 years that we had it in the bottle, and it was really good. It had basically turned into like a light barley wine that was very tasty. But not happening with these beers. So.
This black chocolate stout is also thin.
Yeah. I think it's coming off thicker to me than the Kilt Lifter is.
Yeah.
But still, for being a 10% stout, thin. And I think that's just kind of one of the things that ends up happening when these beers age too long, is they just thin out for some reason. And I would assume that's because a lot of the ingredients just kind of disintegrate.
Yeah.
They just don't hold up. They're not stable. So, I mean, don't age your beers.
Yeah,
people.
We haven't.
Let's just focus on drinking fresh, especially if it's hoppy or, has hops that play a big part in the flavor in whatever way. But, so kind of, it feels cool to get back to drinking like some actual alcoholic beverage on here, both beers, but, I kind of thought this wasn't necessarily going to be winners, and it wasn't. So the good news for you, though, Rebecca, is we can easily dump these. You won't feel bad at all.
No,
and you can pull something good out of the fridge.
Yeah,
and I'll just stare at you while you drink it.
Yes.
No, I'll probably drink a hop water, but then I'll feel included. You know what I mean? But thanks, everyone. I'm not going to do all this stuff at the end because we don't need to do that every single time, but. Thank you, everyone, for checking this out. And until next time,
keep it brutal.